Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday and welcome to the Rangers Review morning briefing for Friday, the 26th of July. I'm Derek Clark and I'm joined this morning by Stevie Clifford. How's it going, Stevie?
Yeah, mate. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Hope we're well and ready for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we've got a game, I'm going to say to look forward to tomorrow, but given what we witnessed on Wednesday, I'm not entirely sure if we are. Anyway, before we get stuck into all things Rangers and plenty of transfer news to report on, just a quick word for our podcast sponsors, MPH Boilers. If you're looking for a new boiler, folks, they've got those wonderful Viessmann boilers, the award-winning family-run business covering all of mainland Scotland. The all-important links are in the description below. Right, well, before we crack on with the transfer rumours and what looks like imminent departures and arrivals. Stevie, you were at the game in midweek at St Andrews, and it left supporters, I think, leaving the ground, asking more questions than answers were given on the pitch. What did you make of it all?
I think possibly the stadium with the loudest PA system in the world, Derek, was the first point. Throwing a refresher sweetie at you to get your attention because you were in the middle was the highlight of what was a really poor first half, certainly. In all honesty, it was 2-0 at half time. They could have had 5 with the amount of chances he created. And, you know, we created a fair few, so it could have been something, you know, it could have been 5-3 at half time, but it was quite ridiculous. The big issues I've got, Derek, is that just a couple of things. Now, first of all, let's caveat it with it is a bit of a mixed team and it's only a friendly. So I get all that, right? But what really bothered me is lack of a kind of system from us. It seemed like our shape was really easily pulled apart, and just this is happening just 1 or 2 passes, Derek. Nobody tracking runners. And it was difficult. Not winning 50-50s, giving up too easily. I mean, I watched Alex Lowry, I watched Rabbi Matondo at times lose the ball and then just stop. So these were big problems. Danilo's nowhere near fit. Yeah. James Tavernier, quite a wee bit away from fitness as well. So there was those things to kind of to worry about. But the manager spoke about it and he said there was a real lack of intensity, didn't he, in the first half, and there was a lack of basics. And you could see that. There was a lot of players not tracking back. They weren't tracking runners. And it was difficult. It changed. The only time we really started winning 50-50s and stuff was when Connor Barron came on. So I think a lot of players, Derek, are playing like they've been told that they've got no future at the club. And that doesn't surprise me in the slightest because the manager's more or less come out and said it. And we needed somebody to be brave as a manager and come in and clear this out and start again and get rid of guys that really were no longer wanted. And it's going to be one of those ones that take a wee bit of time. And I would like to see a wee bit more from performance-wise, but can we really expect much else when players are being actively put out the door and stuff? I'm not so sure. So it's very much a squad in transition, Derek, and it's very much a squad that we are only putting in minimal effort, I think, in games and stuff like that. So it was a pretty poor performance. In the second half, Dessers could have had 3. You know, it's the story of our life with Cyril up top, isn't it? He was through twice. And then that one where he I don't know why he gets chances in front of goal and instead of just shooting, he tries to turn and put it onto his other foot. And, oh, Christ. Tell you what, it's not good at times to watch. But
I know.
He wasn't the only one. I think you've got issues when, that kind of stuff is happening. But listen, it is what it is. We go on to Saturday. We hope that finally we're about to see some movement, don't we? I think you and I witnessed something in a press conference that we've never seen before happening. No. So the manager leaving and then choosing to come back a minute later and update on Todd Cantwell's situation. It was something we had spoke about, I think, and you had asked me, do I expect to see him? And I'd said no, but I never knew that the rumours were, or I never knew the truth being that he had asked to leave and he had asked for a transfer and stuff. So it is what it is. Players don't want to be here. Others will want to be here and being asked to leave. So it's a very much a squad in transition, Derek. But we're a week to go until the season starts. It's not looking promising from that point of view, and I can understand why quite a few people are worried about it. So needs a lot of work, and let's hope it's starting to happen very soon.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. We'll move on to, because Rangers need personnel, there's no doubt about it, and players look to be heading out the door.
I know.
Connor Goldson, you've seen the images of him with his cases at Glasgow Airport. Believe that he's due to touch down in the next hour to his destination, set to be Aris Limassol. Interestingly, reports over in Greece suggest that the other Aris over in Greece are looking to, well, they've reached an agreement with Rangers for Jose Cifuentes. They're going to take him off their hands. No idea on fee, folks, or what the situation is with regards to that. Yeah, Jose Cifuentes, someone I didn't expect to see at Rangers again anyway, Stevie. He went out on loan, of course, to Cruzeiro over in Brazil. Not entirely sure how he's got on over there, I've got to admit. But yeah, it looks like he could be heading for the departure door as well.
Good. The more the merrier, Derek. So, speak about Connor Goldson in a wee second, but Jose Cifuentes was obviously on loan, wasn't he, until the end of the year, so we hadn't really expected anything from him. It's come as quite a pleasant surprise that he's set to move. There was a couple of conflicting reports this morning saying it was an obligation to buy, which would be perfect. That just gets rid of him perfectly. So, listen, he's never going to make it, and you can add him to about 6 or 8 others that aren't going to make it here, and we need to go out the door. But the manager was pretty sure the other night that we were about to get a resolution on Sam Lammers. Yanis Hadji has been told to leave the club, and he'll be close to being out the door as well. I should imagine, with comments that his agent's been saying. Connor Goldson's going. Continued speculation about James Tavernier. We now know that Todd Cantwell's going. Yep. That's 5. You know already. Jose Cifuentes, chuck him in. There'll be more, Derek. So finally, it looks like things are happening. It's no surprise that as these deals all seem to be kind of coming to fruition, that we're starting to get linked again with players. So, yeah, it's about time. I would have liked to have seen this happen 3 weeks ago. I think we all would have. But it's a slow market, this one, after the Euros and things like that. And that's something that the manager talked about the other day. He's not seen it this slow before either. So hopefully now we're getting somewhere, and we're able to put players out and bring others in. But a lot of pressure on us to get this right. On Connor Goldson, just to spend a minute or two on Connor Goldson. Connor Goldson, £3.5 million signing, has been a fantastic signing for the club.
Yep.
I think he missed 6 games in his opening four seasons, purely down to a couple of games being rested. A couple others he missed through injury. So his availability and things has been incredible. And let's not downplay his ability and his kind of service to Rangers, because in the first 3-4 seasons he was absolutely terrific. When we won the league, he was a rock that everything was built around. He was absolutely sensational, partnering either Hollander or Balogun rather, and he's been brilliant. He did fade. He absolutely has faded. Last season, I didn't think he had a very good season at all. He seemed to have a real knack of making a mistake, Connor Goldson, and then being able to bounce back and having a solid kind of run in the team. He wasn't able to do that last year. I think he was quite shaken. But for a guy that has played, 50, 60 games regular for us for 4 or 5 seasons, I think maybe it's just taken its toll on him a wee bit. So he is a high earner. He is somebody with a lot of influence in the dressing room. And him leaving, is I would say, and I've said it for a while, and I'm not going to backtrack on that it's the best move for everyone. But undoubtedly, that doesn't mean in my eyes that he goes without, the proper respect for what has been a really solid Rangers career. He's won, League Cup, Scottish Cup. He's won the league. He helped us be part of a European final. And don't forget Connor Goldson in the tunnel and that, getting the players up, and remember his kind of famous speech where he says it doesn't matter who we're playing, this is Rangers, this is Ibrox, let's go kind of thing. So Connor Goldson gets it, and he's played a major part in the last 5-6 years in our game. But yeah, listen, he hasn't been perfect. He's been part of a team that's been glorified failures quite a few times. So it's the right time for everyone. But I think there's also, you can say that and at the same time pay respect to somebody that's given everything to the club for the last 5-6 years. So it's the right time for everyone. Wish him all the best. He did obviously leave this morning on a flight out of here. I'm still not sure where he's going. There's lots of conflicted stories, Derek. So we do know that he is leaving, and he said his goodbyes at the training ground. So we'll wait and get confirmation of that in the next day or two, I'm sure. But Connor Golson goes with my best wishes, that's for sure.
Yeah, the speculation was he was Amsterdam bound. You'd imagine it would be a connecting flight to somewhere else. So we should find out for sure at some point later on today. But he's been a great servant for Rangers, there's no doubt about it. Wish him well with his future career, wherever that is. Prime time with an interesting point, and it's bang on, saying that we need a new centre-back. We can't go into the season with Davis, Balogun and Suter. NCL is there, of course, as well. I thought he was some bright moments from him in the game in midweek, but this is correct, Stevie. The defence is a major problem for Rangers. They need to bring in a replacement for Goldson. Do they need maybe another centre-back, do you reckon?
Listen, add it to the list of every other position that's an issue in the club at the moment. So the only one we don't have an issue with is goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Do we need another centre-back? Yeah, we absolutely do, because those three I'll come to in a minute, but we definitely need another centre-back. However, the need for a front man and a couple of wingers and a 10 is massively outweighing what we need at the back at the moment. The truth is that Davies and Suter and Balogun probably aren't good enough for a prolonged kind of season. But they're good enough to get by at times, right? And they've got a mistake in them. I don't think Ben Davies is good enough. I think he's prone to an error. But at the same time, he's okay. He's tidy-ish enough. John Suter, prone to an error, but he's fine, can have good games and things like that. So, yeah, we definitely need a centre-back. I see we're linked again with Scott McKenna. That's a solid no from me because of his leanings and stuff like that. I don't want a player like Scott McKenna, who
on a free though, Stevie, is that not a
listen, I would be worried about him in a Rangers jersey. So not for me, but we are linked with him again. I can see it. He is, look, you know what, as well, he's a player that's pretty decent. He's left-sided, quick, physical, etc. I get it. I get why naturally we would be linked, especially on a free, but I would be looking, if he was coming in, I'd still be looking to get rid of Ben Davies, because I think Ben Davies is on too much money to be sitting and be a bit part of the squad. So it would all depend on that. But I'm not a huge fan of that potential deal for those reasons I've discussed. But we need strikers. Look, we need forwards. Danilo's quite a bit away, and I think the other night was quite an eye opener with regards to that. He looked really tired after 15, 20 minutes, which is natural. And he'll need time. He'll need a good couple of months to get up to speed and be a bit part player. I don't think we can rely on Cyril Dessers because we've done that to death, haven't we? We need somebody up front. We need a couple of wingers urgently, and that needs to happen as a priority. We need a 10. I've spoke about it all summer, Derek, but there's Alex Lowry getting a chance the other night, Derek, and I just thought that, like, at times, I don't think he even looked interested at times, and really difficult to deal with when you're seeing that kind of thing. You're looking at an opportunity being given, just please take it, and he just didn't look like he was able to. Yanis Hadji's going to go, Sam Lammers is going to go, Todd Cantwell, by all accounts, won't play again for Rangers. So we need those. We need a 10, we need a striker, we need wingers, and we probably need them before we need a centre-half. As brutal as it is, because we do need a centre-half. We probably need another midfielder as well. So all these things, but there's us linked with. We spoke about it on Monday, didn't we? And I made the kind of comment of watching Man United, I would take Hannibal.
Yeah.
If you remember, I was speaking about that, and viewers will remember saying that on the start of the week.
Neil Scoppin watches the show religiously, Stevie, so he must have taken that recommendation and
But listen, he really shouldn't have. The amount of times I've sat here and recommended, somebody, and they've turned out to be absolutely howling. So I'm not sure we should have listened to me in any state or form. But there's Hannibal being linked, and I felt like that was just an obvious one because he was decent on Saturday. We weren't, and he's the kind of position that we need. So a year left in his contract, that might be an interesting one. Jordan continues, doesn't he, to be linked. So that's another one. There was reports yesterday in Spain that he doesn't want to leave La Liga, and then last night there was reports that a deal was close. So who really knows what's happening with that one? And so you've got a midfielder potentially coming in there. I do think we need another one. Definitely need some forward line though. That's a priority for me, Derek, because we are extremely poor. And listen, I don't intend on coming on and harking on and turning it into a kind of, bashing of our strikers and things like that. But there was 3 clear opportunities the other night for Cyril Dessers in the second half. 3 of them, Derek.
The one he's tried to lob the goalie, Stevie, and
listen, a good striker would have scored 2 or 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where that person is. Lawrence Shankland continues to be speculated about. I think the deal would again have to be right for me. I'm not paying $3 million for Lawrence Shankland to buy a year left. I just don't think it makes sense. So the deal has to be right for me, if that's a possibility. And even if Shankland does come, I would still be looking for somebody else to come in as well. So there's a lot of work to be done, Derek. And we'll just need to wait and see where that comes.
Yep, absolutely. The Hannibal one, I think it would be on paper, that would be a very smart move from Rangers, being reported from down south. He has spent time on loan at Seville and Birmingham City as well in the final year of his deal. Certainly would add a bit of bite, pardon the pun, in the midfield area for Rangers, which is what they need. Joan Jordan is another one. Reports in Spain touched on yesterday that I think Rangers have come back with an improved loan offer of around 40%. It's differing reports in Spain of what Sevilla are looking for with regards to this player, but it's clear he's not part of their plans going forward. He has been told to find another place to play football this season, but it's clear that Rangers are in the market for that sort of midfield enforcer, Stevie, someone that's not going to allow teams to bully Rangers midfields that we've seen in the past. I think that's imperative we get someone like that. I think Connor Barron, incidentally, I've been impressed with him, with the showings I've seen from him, but I think you still need an older head, an experienced head in there.
This is a problem, right? And I'm going to try and word this properly. I'm a fan of Connor Barron, and we spoke for a long time about how I wanted this to happen. And I'm certainly not changing my stance on it. But Connor Barron has probably done what we would expect anyone to do, and that is show energy, make some tackles, put himself about, make himself, kind of industrious and kind of powerful in that midfield. It's probably the bare minimum that we've expected, Derek, and we absolutely love it because we haven't seen it. And I think that's sad indictment of where we are. So it's not a criticism of Connor Barron in any way, because I did want him, and I do think he'll be a great player for us. But this is how low the barrier is at the moment. You spoke about the other day about just getting a forward that can trap the ball and control the ball. Like, that's how bad it is. And I just feel like, but there's another part of me as well that needs to be realistic. There's no way that I can come in, right, and make all these noises about wanting a clear out, Derek, right, and wanting these players out the door and wanting this and wanting that, and then not expect to watch a team that looks exactly like it's going through the motions, and watch a team that urgently needs, faces in while others leave, and be surprised, because it's exactly what I'm calling for. So there needs to be a wee bit of patience, I think, from everybody. When we ask for something and it's going to happen, then we need to just let that run its course. And it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're potentially going to Tynecastle and facing, a really difficult challenge, and you're facing, most likely, having to knit a squad together. Now, if 2 or 3 do arrive over the next couple of days, or before we play Hearts, you're potentially putting them in a team before we've even kind of seen them and stuff like that. So understand it, and understand how difficult it looks. And we do need a wee bit of luck when it comes to those players coming in and somehow being able to hit the ground running. So, yeah, it's a big challenge the next week or so to be ready for that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely is. A guy we've had on the show before, you'll have seen him on Twitter, folks, Yanis Koreanopoulos. I can't remember why we had him on before, but he's now stating that, he's tweeted out, Jose Cifuentes joins Aris Thessaloniki on loan from Rangers. plus for the 2025-26 season, obligation to buy clause. Wait for this, Stevie, €5 million. So there you go. If that's true, if that's indeed true, if that's indeed true, then Rangers have done a fantastic deal there. It cost what, just over £1 million from LAFC at the time, and if they get anywhere near that, then the day's just got off to a brilliant start, I reckon.
That's just ridiculous. He surely missed out a point before the 5 or something, like 0.5 million or something. But listen, see if we get that kind of money, right? And the money that they're talking about for Sam Lammers, and then the money they're talking about for Todd Cantwell, and that, like, it's getting it's a wee bit ridiculous. Perhaps Niels Coppin, is kind of potentially quite good at these things. So I can't see that, Derek. €5 million is, what is that? Just over 4 million?
Yep, around 4 million quid, yeah.
Or something, isn't it? So,
yep.
God's sake. If that's true, then, I don't know what to say about that. Well, I do know what to say, but I probably can't say it at this moment in time. But, it's quite funny in a way as well. But let's hope that's true. And if it's an obligation to buy as well, then that's great, because we've got an obligation to buy Cortez for around about the same amount of money. So if that's going to happen, then it's more or less 1 for 1, isn't it? So quite incredible numbers for him. And then you look about, I've seen, numbers for Sam Lammers around about 4 million as well. Todd Cantwell numbers are quite high also. And I just think that, all of a sudden, there was rumours, Derek, about a potential signing at the end of last week and a big massive bid going in, and we all laughed at it. And we all said there's no way that we're bidding that amount of money for somebody and things like that. I don't think it's as obvious that. I don't think it's as obvious as being that there's no truth in that. And then when you think about all the players potentially going out for this kind of money, maybe things do start to make sense. I'm not sure. I would love to think, do you know what? I think we're all sitting going, see if we can get these guys out. Maybe there's 2 or 3 deals waiting to be done. And we have been linked with some exciting names. I think that's fair. You know what I mean? And we can speculate when you talk about guys like Morgan Whittaker, guys like Wout Weghorst and stuff like that, who are, I think, are wild rumours, are kind of wild speculation. But wouldn't it be exciting if we could get a couple of guys out the door and then be heading for those kind of targets? I think it would be really exciting. So yeah, let's wait and see. There's a part of me, Derek, and let's just kind of wander for a wee bit, because I'm gibbering on, I may as well. Chris decided to turn up and then leave, so I may as well kind of talk for a wee bit, won't we? But
difficulties.
From Chris. But listen, I don't think Philippe Clement comes to Rangers without any sort of guarantees.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have came here to have a summer where he spends very little and he's not able to improve this team drastically, which it needs. I don't think there's any way that the boardroom are sitting watching this thinking we can get by with this. Now, that might be hugely optimistic from me, but I don't think there's any way that you can disguise this. It does need a root and branch kind of reform. It does need a clear out. It does need people coming in. I've said for a long time, the context of the business we've done in the summer, that I was quite happy because I believed that this would be coming. So it's not here yet, but if it's starting to, then, about time, and I think we can look forward to that. And that's what I'm clinging on to, Derek. My kind of optimism of being there's still major business to be done. I've said it for a long time that 12 transfers, 6 out, 6 in that region, kind of swapping about number-wise, will be where I would expect us to be come the end of this transfer window. I don't think the squad will be the same. I still think there's movement, big people to leave. Connor Goldson's one of them. I still think James Tavernier. I still think maybe there's things to happen round about him. Also, there's too much noise there. So I still think there's big business, Derek. I would love it if that could happen and we could get some exciting guys in and, maybe start to restructure this first team, because it does need a lot of work. So, maybe, just maybe, things are starting to move in a potentially better way for us.
Yep, let's get to some of the comments coming in. First of all, Alan Jack says, happy 50th birthday to my big pal, Russell Allison. He tunes in every day, all the best. He says, Stevie's biggest fan, doesn't mince his words, could do with Stevie in the dressing room, he says. So yeah, happy birthday, Russell. Hopefully you have a great day, buddy, from me and Stevie. Ian Edwards, loved your reaction to the 5 million for Cifuentes. It's his favourite ever reaction, he's saying. And UFO Podcast is kindly donated to the channel. Thank you, buddy. He says, big thanks to all you guys for the work and efforts. Realistically, how many new signings do you expect to start against Hearts with players not in the door yet? Who knows? I have no idea at this moment in time. But yeah, we are expecting.
Eric, I'm going to have a guess at 3.
3 players that aren't already in the door. You expect to start at Tynecastle, yeah?
2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3, okay.
So if we take one of them being Tierney, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe if Juan Jordan arrived the next couple of days or Hannibal, one of those two might be. They sound like they're realistic.
Yep.
And then obviously that leaves one more surprise in the door, but potentially you could get that. So I would like to ask the UFO podcast if I could maybe sneak one of them 2 or 3 on the bench. I think that might be where I would love that to be the case. You know, next Friday when we've done absolutely nothing and we haven't signed anyone, people can give me pelters for it, but we'll wait and see.
Well, big Phil, we know, tunes in every morning, and he's submitted his estimation. He says, I guess 11. So we're expecting a shed load of new signings before we go to Tynecastle next week. But yeah, I think 3. I think would be pretty. I think they need 3, Stevie, based on what we witnessed the other night there. I think new arrivals are imperative. The boy Cherny seems like. I know that he's decent reputation over there. Played for Ajax 20. I've teamed up with Danilo, of course, before. He had a great piece, incidentally. Joshua's spoken to his former manager at 20. It's over on the website this morning, folks. The link is in the description. Go check it out. But it's an area that's been it's not been an area that's been addressed in recent years, Stevie. Hopefully he can hit the ground running over there. Right winger, left-footed. Czech international. Happy with that?
Oh, Derek, he's a right winger. I don't care if he's. You know what I mean? I don't care what he is, but he's a right winger, like a natural right winger. Like, honestly, it feels like such a beautiful moment. But we've been waiting on it, haven't we? So yeah, listen, he comes with a good rep. I think he done well in Holland. He's not done that great in Germany. I think he only played 22, 23 times last year, scored 4 goals. I think his XG was quite low for expected goals out the season. I think it was only just over 2. So he does have a good turn of pace. He can play inverted. He is left-footed. He can also use his right as well. So, listen, I think it's a position we desperately need. I like Ross McCausland, right? But I think he's got a lot of growing the game and improvement to do. Yeah. And I think we need to give him time. And I think sometimes we're a wee bit unrealistic. So, at moments, absolutely agree with what people are saying, that he's not looked good enough, but we do also need to give him time. His attitude's really good, and I think that he could be fine as part of a squad kind of player, but we need a first team starter. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. You know, we expect maybe, to get confirmation of that quite soon. The team fly out to Germany this afternoon, so it'll be interesting to see where the club are with a couple of things. So looking forward to seeing this boy potentially. And, it would be great if he could get in and start quite quickly. Derek, we've had a real lack of right wingers. And I've looked at this, and this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous. But, you go back to the days of kind of Kanchelskis and stuff like that. We played Nacho Novo on the right-hand side for ages. We played Lee McCulloch out there for ages on both sides and stuff like that. We played Stephen Whittaker. In recent years, we had Daniel Candeas, and then when he left, we just abandoned the whole position and just put whoever we could out there. Mm-hmm. So a natural right-sided winger, it feels a wee bit like Christmas time. So, I'm really pleased about that one, just purely because he's naturally sided. I don't know a lot about him. I know a wee bit about,
I know he knows how to score winners at Parkhead, which could prove helpful at the end of August. More of the same, please, Vaclav.
Yeah, that would be really nice, wouldn't it? But he's going to need a wee bit of help for that come to fruition, I think. But yeah, I mean, he scored. I think he scored 4 in qualifying for Czech as well. So he's got a decent eye for goal and stuff like that. It's maybe not worked out for him in the Bundesliga, and we probably have to qualify that even Sam Lammers did well in Holland. So we're not really sure of the difficulty of that league. But as I said, I'm just pleased that it's somebody that's naturally right-sided. So I'm pleased about that one for sure.
Yeah, Lewis gets in touch. He says, you're forgetting Dalcio, Stevie. I think he was at a left winger by, recollection. Incidentally, he's got the best agent in the game. He went over, played in Cyprus, and a few weeks ago signed for Red Star Belgrade. So there you go. So that is Dalcio. Yeah, I think he played for a team. I can't remember what team in Cyprus he was playing for, but moved to Red Star Belgrade. But yeah, the less said about that era of Rangers, the better. Right, that'll do us there. We are expecting, as Stevie touched on, departures and arrivals. So keep your eyes peeled to the social media channels, the website, of course, and the YouTube channel as well for all the latest news coming out of Ibrox. If you've not joined up to the WhatsApp group, then the link is in the description. Go and join there if you fancy keeping up to date with all the latest Rangers news, if WhatsApp is your medium of choice. Before you go, Stevie, the third kit's out. Are you a fan of it?
Yeah. I being a Castor affiliate, you know what I mean? I am a huge fan of Castor and their business. So, I think also if you order online, Derek, and spend over 75, you can get a free football for the kids. So it might be worthwhile if anyone's thinking about ordering and stuff like that. But I think Castor strips this year have been really nice. And this one's a wee bit wild, isn't it? The first two are always kind of traditional, and then they mess about with the third and the fourth a wee bit. So, yeah, I think it's nice. I think they've done a good job again. And they're obviously getting advice from their strips on some very qualified people. So, it's interesting. But Derek, before we go, can I just give a wee shout out to everybody that puts comments in and sends praise and stuff like that? When we come on here, we're supposed to have a laugh, aren't we? We're supposed to make it enjoyable for people to listen to. So I'm glad that some of my reactions bring kind of amusement. That one that you sent me last week on my reaction to somebody suggesting that Tom Moran should get a 1-year extension was quite amusing as well. So, we just try and come on, don't we, and kind of discuss. And can I give a big shout out as well to my pal, Gary Howden? Yep. He's over in America. He's got a lovely family out there, and he emigrated out there. Gary and I used to go to the games when we were small and growing up from Fort William. So it's lovely to see when Gary's name pops up. One of my best friends growing up, an absolute top lad, Derek. So it's nice to see him comment. And just, everybody go and have a nice weekend. Hopefully this is the beginning of much promised transfer business, and we might even get a wee result tomorrow. I would settle for a better performance, but you never know. So at least we can look forward to that, and then the real business starts next week. So just a wee thanks to everybody, and I really appreciate all the comments and stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. And Frances gets in touch as well. She says, happy birthday to my boy Jack today as well. So happy birthday, Jack. Hopefully you have a great day. Chris is heading out to Berlin. If you're heading out there, folks, I am mega jealous. Berlin's a cracking city. So
how does he get these trips? I use boys go to Birmingham, he'll go to Berlin. Very good.
I know. Unreal. But so he's heading out there. So we'll speak to him a little later on. We'll have all the coverage from the game tomorrow, folks, as Rangers take on Union Berlin and wrap up what has been a pretty depressing pre-season campaign. There's no doubt about it. But there's Ali making an appearance on the show as ever. So I think she's wanting walkie Stevie by the looks of things. Or Brecky, that's for sure. So we'll wrap up now. So thank you to Stevie and each and every one of you for tuning into the show as ever, and we'll speak to you later on. Bye for now.